Hey, this is Mondaiji. We're here with my good buddy Nick. Nick, please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Nick. What's going on, guys?
Hello, hello. We're talking to some expats. Nick is also, like me, an American expat. Now, how long have you lived in Japan?
7 years.
7 years. Woo! It's a long time. What do you do here? You work, school, what?
I work doing like systems engineering for a company that makes trading systems for banks and brokerages.
Okay, is that Japanese company, American company? What is it?
American company.
American company. Okay. What do you like about living here?
I think in general, like especially Tokyo compared to like the US is pretty refined. I think in New York and maybe like LA, Chicago, in certain areas, like you'll have like quite a high level of refinement, style, dining, like nightlife, shopping. I mean, pretty consumer, like market type of
Buy stuff.
Yeah, there's always like cool stuff to buy, cool clothes to buy. Always so many new restaurants to try. There's always a really cool like pace of life. That's maybe Tokyo, right? But then in Japan also has this like long culture, has this unique things that every year, like summer festivals, winter festivals, fireworks, like all these like seasonal like events that the whole country observes, and that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, that's very cool. Where are you from? So you talked about what you like. What do you don't like about living in Japan?
Man, it's kind of a tough question because like one thing when I first came here, because I've lived overseas my whole life, like I know there are cultural differences, and I think not having a clearly defined like single culture myself, like I've learned to maybe not adopt everything or adapt to everything in an environment, but just I kind of know if you're not going to accept things that you can't change, you're going to get pretty bitter, right? Like when you meet up with like expats in Tokyo a lot or other countries, people start to like bitch about the local environment and people quite a lot, and like I don't like to do that. And if it's not something that you can change, if it is what it is, then I'd rather talk about something else than like getting all like worked up over like shit that you can't change.
Yeah.
But then
like when you meet someone who's been here for 20 years,
yeah,
they go bitter.
They get like really bitter sometimes, right? They get really like negative, and it's like, well, then why didn't you leave? Like you've been bitter about this one thing for like, or all these things for like 20 years, and like you can't do anything about it. You haven't really tried to do anything about it. So, like what a waste of 20 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah. So I don't have so many complaints about being a foreigner in Japan, but I think because especially like the last 4 or 5 years, I've been working really closely, and especially the company I worked at last, like it's the first time I felt like, whoa, this is what it's like to be Japanese in Japan.
Yeah.
It's like when I was it's like a service-based industry, we had a number of like very prickly, difficult types of customers, like not just like assholes, but just where they were in society, like they were this kind of like a role. And because I could speak well enough and because I knew how to behave and how to apologize and how to explain things, like I really got the abuse. And like, and a lot of it really wasn't warranted. Like you just knew these guys are being totally irrational. But I knew like, well, if I were a foreigner, yeah, I got to take it. It's like, I knew if I wasn't accepted, or like, if I was seen more as a foreigner, I probably wouldn't be getting it. They just, be more polite, or they wouldn't say anything at all. But then because, it's the first time I was like, whoa, this is what it's like to be Japanese in Japan. And I realized like Japan's a great place. And if you're Japanese in Japan, I think it can be tough because with all the good stuff, you have to put up with a lot of like difficulties as well.
Yeah.
But as a foreigner, if you can get on as a Japanese person, sometimes, or get on in Japanese society, you can enjoy the best of Japan. But then because you're a foreigner, you can always kind of step back, and you don't have to be like subject to all the difficult stuff as well.
Yeah, I've heard that before, where a lot of people will come here as a tourist, And coming here as a tourist and coming here to live is two totally different things. And when you're a tourist, you're treated so well, and like, oh, I love Japan. Everyone's so polite to me and everything. And then when you're living and you're actually working and you kind of become more Japanese, you were talking about, you're expected to follow the rules. There's a lot of rules here, and when you're a tourist, you don't have to follow anything. But when you live here longer, you're expected to follow those rules. And I like what you said. You gotta, I think sometimes you can step back and kind of bend the rules. I think I have before. And then other times you gotta follow the rules, like if you're with coworkers that are Japanese or something. Okay, so Nick, did you have any advice for people considering living in Japan?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing you should do, at the very minimum, is get your Japanese driver's license. And my biggest recommendation and my only regret in Japan is one thing I didn't do sooner is get my motorbike license.
Nice. This guy has a Harley in Japan. It's sweet, totally pimp.
And this is the country for motorbike riding. The roads are great. You can travel anywhere in the country, like on the expressway. You can get into the mountains, into no man's land within 2 hours, and you will find these mountain roads that no cars, no anyone, but they're in perfect condition. Gorgeous scenery, like totally safe, beautiful. Like all of Japan, like is not Tokyo. I mean, there's an incredible country outside of Tokyo, and the sooner you can get out and experience that, especially when you're in the Tokyo work life and stuff, the sooner you can get out and just see the rest of Japan, the better.
Very cool.